Alright, Sultai Merfolk, blue-green with a small black splash for the Finality backside, because the Find front half is pretty good. New cards, we're trying out 4 copies of Incubation and Incongruity. Again, I'm super high on most of the split cards in this set. We got a couple of Zegana in here, and we've got a couple of Benthic Biomancer here, which get a little bit bigger and then draw some cards, so... Let's see. This deck felt very reasonable. We played an iteration of this before this new set release without Breeding Pool, so it's going to gain a little bit of consistency from that, in addition to the consistency it's going to gain from the other new tools that we're playing. I think I updated the Stream Decker. Sweet. So basically, the idea behind the Black Splash is that I kind of like playing the card Find in this deck anyways, so I might as well put in some black lands because they're free-ish, especially because we have Wildgrowth Walker to gain lots of life, so the damage that we take from black shock lands is mitigated a little bit by that. So this is very reasonable. Little bit land heavy, but got a good curve here. 1, 2, 3. Have things gotten a lot crisper? I am streaming in 60 FPS now, but the resolution is still 1080 as always. For blasting cannons, yeah, Legion Warboss or Banefire probably. You want cards that are good against control in that slot basically. Our Curious Obsession's no good here. So this deck doesn't really have evasive creatures in it, other than these 2. So, like, I know I have Mist-Cloaked Herald in play right now, but there's only 2 of these. And we don't really have evasive creatures other than that. And Curious Obsession hits diminishing returns very quickly if you can't be evasive. Yep. That's pretty good against our Dorko here. Good curve here, just like 1, 2, 3, 2, 2. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't know, I think questions like that just aren't really productive or useful. Try restarting your client. Sometimes exchanging wildcards has issues, you gotta restart to fix it. Hashtag beta. That's really powerful. So I'm gonna hold off on playing this for 1 turn, because obviously I want to go 2-2. It's important that we sequence the Silvergill before the Branchwalker, because otherwise we won't have a Merfolk to make this cheaper. Afternoon, Captain Jack. So this is definitely a matchup where if we draw a Finality, we'd be pretty happy. We'll board in our extra copies of Find for sure. That card is also excellent in this matchup. So if they attack here with everything, I can go trade, take 4, 5. So that's not a terrible set of attacks for us. Blocks. This is also okay for us. Yeah, if they can't take out Kumena, we're about to bury them in cards. That being said, they could have what's it called? They could have the X-Spell here, which they do not. I guess this makes all my things bigger. Maybe I just want to make my stuff bigger, huh? Is that better? Is bigger is better, right? This is America. Thanks, the One God. Welcome to a live one. Tap him on Merfolk you control. So I'm going to block with this and then put a counter on everything. Elevator going up. They have like a seal away. Oh, you know, I shouldn't have tapped this because they could have seal away. Come seal away. Come seal away. Come seal away with me. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and look for a fish here. Tap and untap Merfolk you control. No, it only makes himself unblockable, Bob. I'm gonna wait one more turn here. They could have settle as well, but now I have enough Merfolk where I can draw a card plus put a 1/1 counter on everything, which is good for us. If they hit their March of the Machines here. Am I dead to March? They're making 8 tokens with March. We're dead to March into Flourish for sure. So like they're making as many tokens as I have blockers. And more than that because of the this trigger. Am I dead? If they don't kill us here, I might draw 2 cards so I can try and find Finality. Yep, get Splinter Twinned. Am I just dead? Right? I have to take, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I get to block 4 of these. So I'm taking, 6 times 3 is 18. Is this a Splinter Twin Modern needs? Love the content. Keep the great streams. Texas Sniper. Thanks for coming back for the 4th month in a row. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me employed here. That's a good turn to hit March for sure. I'm gonna bring in these and bring in these. What do I want to trim? How do you feel about cutting Incubation? It feels like filler and the spot removal aspect of it isn't very good. No, ranked best of 3 doesn't happen until the end of the month. Mist-Cloak is actually very good here because being unblockable is very powerful in a matchup where board stalls are going to happen. So I think this card's relevant for that reason. And we have things like Deeproot Champion as well as Kumena and Mistbinder to a degree that can make this more powerful. We broke 3K people. Thank you everybody for stopping by here today. This is the most concurrent viewers I've ever had without being on the front page or a huge host, so thanks for dropping in. Hey, Wrathy Draconis with the brand new Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Other main board black cards, just Finality. Yeah, we were on the front page the last 2 Mondays, and it'll be on the front page for a couple hours the following 2 Mondays. So we actually hit 9,000 people Monday morning when we were on the front page, which is to be expected, right? Like front page means a lot of viewers. Damned Albert with the brand new Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. This seems like not amazing, but Branchwalkers can maybe stem some early aggression. If we can survive to Finality, we'll probably be in a pretty good spot. They likely won't be expecting a sweeper out of our mid-range creature deck. And that's one of the things that's really powerful about this card in this deck is like we're playing it because the find half picking Merfolk back up is really good, but the fact that it gives us a sweeper is also very potent. Obviously we're gonna need to hit a black source before then, but with the explorers especially we got a lot of looks. I would love a Silvergill Adept. Hitting this to a 3/2 is pretty good because it stops all of their 1/1s in the tracks basically. Yeah, I agree, Lenny. Between the new Magic set being fresh and it being a holiday, this Monday should be pretty good for numbers. Okay, fantastic. So we get to go Wildgrowth Walker into Branchwalker next turn. Just walk all over him. Walk it out. What do you think about Endray's Foreigners? I don't know what that card does. I'm still learning all the names of the cards. Monday is Martin Luther King Day, MLK, in the United States, I believe. I have my Monday holidays correct. Oh, it's the mini Crater Hip. I think it's just not necessary. I think it's a card that, like, by the time that card's good, like, you probably have other good things going on for you. I'm gonna bin this, just looking for a black source at this point. This enters the battlefield. If you control another creature, 1/1 counter on a draw card. This, 2 of these might be too little. Like, a 4/4 that cantrips is kind of busted. Do I attack with this? I think I attack with this. They want to trade these 2 Saprolings for it. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay trading 1 Saproling for my Silvergill, but trading 2 Hero to be like, yeah, that's fine. I don't know which cards you're referring to, Frylock. The deck listed on the screen, though. Should give you a heads up of what we're playing exactly. I mean, like, there's only 2 copies of Finality in my deck. And, like, the fact that, like, we have Incongruity to find these cards is also useful. Alright, well, we have the Finality guaranteed next turn, which is really nice. So hopefully they just, like, put some more stuff into play. Then we clean house. Deal. I am gonna lose. Do I wait 1 turn? If I wait a turn, I can adapt this, and then I can Finality and save the Wildgrowth Walker and keep her around. I might wait a turn and adapt her. That being said, if they play, oh, good lord. Can I afford to wait a turn now? I don't know if I can afford to wait a turn. I have the fine to pick my stuff back up. Yeah, I'm just gonna be conservative and do it now. Bye, friends. So what are our thoughts on that black splash, chat? How are we feeling about the black cards in the deck? What do we think? And, like, now I just get to, like, do this and, like, pick up Silvergill Adept and Branchwalker. Sure. Just like, again, we're playing that card because the find half of it is good, and then the Finality randomly just gets to pop off in matches like this and be fantastic. So, we're ahead at the moment. We're not... Oh, you know what? I should have kept the Overgrown Tomb in my hand because this loots. I'm not used to the new cards yet. So this card draws a card and discards a card, which we refer to as looting in Magic. Alright, so I'm losing Mr. Walker here. That's fine. Still pretty far ahead. Okay, we drew another land. Let's start with this. Yep. I think I want another Biomancer, huh? I think I just grabbed Biomancer Branchwalker here. This deck has so much card selection and card advantage in it. I love that the creature decks in this format have so much selection and card advantage in them. Makes them incredibly consistent. Rhythm would be better than Find. I mean, that card's functionally different. And the problem with a card like Rhythm in this deck is this deck's trying to play things on like 1 and 2, like before you get your Rhythm going. I don't think the Coat of Arms banner, whatever that card's called, solves problems that this deck has. I mean, my initial gut Frylock, so I know we do a lot of user-submitted decks here, but I built this deck, so I think 2 is the right place to start at. They are legendary, which means they're going to be awkward multiples for you, and we have cards to help us draw more cards, so we're going to find our 2 of pretty consistently. So kind of the same reason we have 2 Kumena. God, I wish this hand had a second land in it. If this hand had a second land, I'd probably snap it off, but unfortunately, I think it's just got to go. I'm going to keep this on the draw with a Scry. Yeah, I think Menagerie is just probably not good enough. We have Menagerie in the old build, and I think it's worse than Finality. I think having, like, 6 of that effect's a little clunky. You, like, have too many draws where, like, you just have nothing to do and just, like, don't have threats, but, like, have things to bring back threats. No, Kaladesh's problem was that the aggressive decks and the threats that people were playing were just too difficult to interact with. So the reason why that format was bad was because there wasn't enough ability to interact with things. The Iron Druid, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Anybody asking for my opinions on decks in New Standard? I'm not really a hot takes on formats kind of person. I'll give you hot takes on lots of other things, but not on formats. In order to have, like, educated, informed opinions of, like, what's going to be good, better. Otherwise, it takes a lot of experience and practice, and, like, you need to actually play games. There's no substitute for practice in Magic. The way you get better and the way you evaluate things is by playing with them. So, I'm really poor at predicting the future, so I just try not to do it. I should have played my other one. It just doesn't matter. We're dead. Give me a hot take on pizza. Pineapple pizza. Come on now. Hot takes on the hot takes. Listen, it's like hot takeception, right, Perkins? It's all hot takeception. I think Wizards couldn't give 2 craps about Modern, and they definitely don't want to take away excitement from Standard being new and exciting by making changes in a format that they don't give a crap about. So, just like every other disappointing update for Modern, Monday's gonna say no changes in all formats. I think I just leave this on top, right? Who doesn't love drawing cards? Next one, I get to play 2 cards that can trip that also put counters on things. This Jadelight is well on its way to being huge, thanks to the Deeproot Elite. How's this deck faring so far? We're only into the second match with this one. Had a little bit of mulligan and die in the first one. Inch by inch, I'm pulling out this sword. Thank you for the 4 months of support, Johan. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think I'm just going to try and make this huge. Is this going to be big enough to attack into like 7 power here soon? Do I want to attack with this and trade this for both of them? I actually might be okay with that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's offer the trade for both their Jadelights. I think this is fine.
can't stop nature.
So, the way the Zegana trigger works here, I'm fairly certain that if you have Deeproot Elite in play and play this, this trigger just doesn't happen. This has what's called an intervening if clause, which means that this checks when it would go on the stack if the condition is met, and then also checks when the ability would resolve if the condition is met. I shouldn't have shocked that in. The Branchwalker does have one, so here I would get to draw things. So I understand that I have a counter already, but I'm explaining what would happen if I had this in play and didn't have something with a counter, is what I'm explaining. So in this current, in this current situation, I'd get to draw a card, but here, it's a little different. All right, and then I get to play, so I shouldn't have shocked in here. I shocked needlessly, so I changed what line I was going for halfway through here, because I realized I could do this and then pressure their Vivian Reed. So they have to chump block with this and trade with this if they want to keep this alive. And actually, if I attack here, this guaranteed dies, right? Yeah, they get to eat my 3/2, but I think I'm okay with that.
I'll be back, just like before.
Yeah, the Biomancer's seems really good. Just like, again, these cards that are good early, but also have abilities as they go late are fantastic. So there's the second Utopian speaker. So I think I do this. Oh wait, I should adapt this first, because once I put a counter on it from Deeproot Elite, it'll be counts as adapted. Oh my gosh! This loots when we Deeproot Elite it? That's absurd. I know I probably should have realized that, but that's really good. Holy crap. Yeah, it's probably really great with Climb, right? Wow. Yeah, so someone in chat pointed that out earlier. That's really good, though. I mean, I was just playing this because it was good in Merfolk last season. Don't mind if it does. If they have... Is there like an Anger of the Gods in this format? Is there a red sweeper that does 3 to everything? Or even 2 to everything? If they do 2 to everything, we're pretty dead. Fiery Cannonade's the only one, right? Clarion, the non-pirate one, yeah. So let's do this first, because otherwise we don't have a Merfolk to make this cheaper. Hey, Caleb, thank you for the 4-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And Owl Knight, thank you for the 3-month resub. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Do I make this big enough to attack? I think so, right? It's like, do this. And then, like, play this, make this a 4/4 as well. Because, like, all these 1/1 counter things have... Oh, I could put one here. That's probably better. I suppose I could also tap a bunch of Merfolk to, like, make the other ones bigger. So I could attack like this, and then tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and make all of these bigger. Yeah, I think that's the line, right? I'm pretty healthy, pretty unlikely to die on the backswing. Yep. The Gutter Snipes were fine. I think the Gutter Snipes were fine before, and they're better now, because it gets more 1-mana spells. What do I want to do here? Their deck's like kind of mid-rangey. They're probably a Wildgrowth Walker deck, right? The Memekin deck was very, very good. I don't know what Herald of the Secret Streams does. This is probably not a matchup where I want Find Finality. Need 2 more cuts here. I can probably afford to cut a couple of these if I'm bringing in cast downs as hard removal. The new set's definitely created a lot of interesting puzzles to be solved. Creatures you control with 1/1 counters on them can't be blocked. I think that's just worse than Zegana. That's like, so one of the things you want to avoid doing is like putting individually weak cards in your deck, and like that's definitely an individually weak card. That's also a card that like exposes you to blowouts against instant speed spot removal. Like you go to attack thinking they're unblockable, and then they like kill your thing and like block all your stuff profitably. Yeah, I did dump my commons and uncommons for wild cards, and once we did that, each booster pack that we opened gave us 1% towards the vault. Like, this is an aggro deck at its core, so like playing things that are more efficient is important. I think I would play more Kumena and more Prime Speaker before I played a card like that. Climb could be okay. I feel like if you wanted Climb in the deck, you'd play a more all-in aggressive build. Like, get rid of the Black Splash for Find Finality, and like those slots would be the climbs. Dumping wildcards. So before I opened any booster packs from the new set, I used the 300 uncommon wildcards that I had and crafted all the uncommons and commons in the set with my 300 commons and 300 uncommon wildcards. So that way all the ones I opened went towards vault progress. Merfolk for my 7-month favor. What's going on, Lefty Roadster? Thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. Alright, so they're kind of repping a counterspell here, right? Worth noting they don't have double blues, so the Wizard Lizard is not castable at the moment. That being said, I think I'm going to go Merfolk plus, or Mistbinder plus Biomancer. I think I'm going to play this and get it going. Did you import the decks I crafted? Yeah, I had a bunch of decks that I imported. I'm gonna keep making this bigger because it just keeps we killing something in response here. Am I about to get fiery cannonaded? Growth spiral, sure. It's gonna turn 3 kill with the Memekin deck. Wow, we are getting cannonaded. Alright. Sometimes the old land war elves cannonade deck's a thing, I suppose. We could get counterspelled here now. They have lizard wizard mana. No, you're a lizard, Harry. This card's sweet. This is my favorite card in the new set. I don't know if it's gonna be good, but this is like the type of Magic I like playing. We're gonna get to a Bant Flash deck later today. What decks do I expect to rise to the top? The good ones. If I could accurately predict the future, I wouldn't waste my powers on a children's card game. They have more counterspells in their deck. That's what we're doing here, chat. We're playing games trying to figure out what qualifies as the good ones. I feel like you would. Alright, I wouldn't just waste it on children's card games. I would do more than that. Dream bigger, dream fearlessly. That animation was slick. All right, so where's Merfolk? There it is. So I could cast down this Crisis. Alternatively, I could just double Merfolk here and start drawing cards. And as someone who enjoys drawing cards, I think I'd like to do that. This does expose us to them having a Lizard Wizard next turn, which is a little scary. Yeah, we have a Bant Fog deck in the queue. I didn't have any of the untap your lands enchantments in it, but I should probably jam those in. Yep.
The wild wasn't meant to be contained.
Yeah, the bot baiting people who ever read the stream rules is fantastic. Yeah, I agree. That's a big part of it. A lot of people want me to make strong statements so that way they can look back and go, ha ha, Hogland's not good at magic. He predicted the future incorrectly. Kill that one. Let's dig with this and see where we end up at. Right? At least our only choice was a good one. I like that you refer to yourself as Hogland when you're mocking haters. I do what I can, really. Am I supposed to pressure this Vivian? So, like, I could attack with this and tap a Merfolk to make it unblockable. The problem is I exposed myself to a hit on the backswing, but, like, the Vivian's, like, pretty good. Just gonna pass and draw another card, I think.
The wilds are my
Jeff, can you give me your opinion on a topic? You have no data or anything to base it on. Exactly. It's just like, well, what if we didn't? Oh yeah, that's worth noting. I don't have counters yet for this card. I think we're probably dead here, huh? The Fiery Cannonade on turn 3 or 4 or whatever was really good. Yeah, let's move along. Too many things. I realize I could play the other Lord and, like, not die to Cannonade, but, like, we're not beating the Vivian 2 and the Carnage Tyrant. There's too many things going on there that are stacked against us. Can I submit a deck if I'm not a subscriber? You can submit a deck if you're not a subscriber, but it costs more money to do so. So, for subscribers, it's $10 to submit a deck to the queue to be played on stream. For non-subscribers, it's $20. And if you're bad at math, that means it's cheaper to subscribe and then add a deck for $10. But I won't be one to tell you how to spend your money, so you do you. I think this hand is fine. I think this is fine. Why no Finality? Because their creatures are a little bit bigger than ours on average, and we're not really trading things off in combat aggressively, so I'm not going to have things in my graveyard to pick back up a lot of the time. The great Hoku with the brand new Prime support. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Yeah, fishy, 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 fishy. The red-green deck was sweet. All three of the decks have been pretty reasonable so far. If I had to, like, pick one to say is the most underwhelming, it's probably this one. But I think there's probably also just, like, more aggressive builds of Merfolk that are straight blue-green that are worth trying to. The person that donated for this explicitly asked to see Sultai Merfolk again. Who do I spend my Prime sub on month to month? It depends on who I'm watching more. The last couple months, my Prime sub have gone to either Day9, Savitz, Nox or Aliandrazi are other Twitch streamers that I watch on occasion. Basically, my rule for when I subscribe to someone, and I subscribe for actual dollars too on occasion, if I spend more time watching someone on Twitch than I do watching Netflix in a given week, I subscribe to their channel. Because I'm like, well, if I pay $10 for Netflix or $12 or whatever it costs these days, and like, I watched it less than this other person on Twitch, I should probably give them $5. I think I want to give this a 5th point of toughness, so that way it survives Lava Coil. Hey, I am Volpert. Thanks for the sub gift. I appreciate it. Welcome to Kajakopo. Yeah, we've been floating. We've been bouncing right around 3K all day. It's kind of wild. I thought I was the only one who did Netflix math to determine subs. You are not. Laughing Skull with the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. How much longer till the control deck? Probably about half hour, 45 minutes. Now I'm here live more often than not. God bless. Glad to have you. All right, they do have a lizard wizard. Sublagar, for the sake of maintaining positivity, it's okay if you personally don't enjoy other content creators, but please don't say negative things towards other people that are essentially my coworkers and stuff like that. There's not every bit of content that's made is targeted at every person in the world. So if you don't like something that someone else is making, that's fine. Like, there's a lot of people that don't like what I do, and that's okay. They're entitled to that. There's no reason to like downput what other people are making. I think Rakdos Burn will be better than Mono Red? I have no idea. They raised the price by $1 and lost 8%. That's pretty huge.
I battle for the forces of good. Good choice.
Burn the heretics. They haven't played a land yet, right? I'm actually gonna give them the Cannonade, because they could just get the Cannonade next turn anyways. In the hopes that they miss a land drop. Increased by $1, 8% lost, still more money? Probably. I saw Netflix stock was up after the raise, the price increase, which makes sense. Wow, that's brutal. I think I need to try and draw a card here, because I would like to play another Merfolk to get Silvergill Adept out of range here. Gosh, this darn shuffler can't possibly be random. There's no such thing as clumps in random, chat. Everybody knows that random means uniformly distributed. Gosh. Random, uniform distribution, those are the same things, right? Thanks, Delta. Glad to have you here. I could play the Kumena for a counter, that's true. Huh. Yeah, I think I just play this out, right? Because if I play this out, I can put a 1/1 counter on this, and then if they fiery cannonade in response to the 1/1 counter going on this, I tap 5 Merfolk with Kumena to save it anyways. So if they cannonade in response there, they didn't. Wow, that's really good for me. All right, what do they have? They just like if they had a lizard wizard, they'd counter this, right? I think I missed a thing. Hey, Woot-tastic. At any rate, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Hey, appreciate it. They could have double cannonade, that's fair. If they have a second candidate here, I'm gonna feel really dumb not drawing cards, but... Yep. That's unfortunate.
Are you certain of your decision?
That F emote is great. I might steal something like that. Ranked is not best of 3. Ranked will be best of 3 starting at the end of the month.
Please stop.
So when the current ladder season ends, best of 3 will be implemented.
How convenient. An excellent choice.
That's really unfortunate. So really want to draw any Merfolk next turn so I can make this unblockable and kill Karn before they get this Crisis. It's just not good enough. Unfortunately, I can't play Kumena and then activate this before sacrificing this because the legend rule works based on state-based actions. So that would not work the way we want it to. Let's try another one here. Seems coming up a little bit short. I wonder if something just more aggressively slanted is better. Like more one mana spells and just like curving out as opposed to trying to grind a little bit. Hada's Climb seems really sweet in general, and it seems quite excellent with the Merfolk that loots every time he gets a 1/1 counter. Well, there's only 2 Kumena in our deck, so that wasn't a possibility. Yeah, Perkins, and part of that is, like, there's no meaningful prizes once you're in Mythic, right? Like, the only purpose of staying at the top is bragging rights at the moment. So the problem, someone else mentioned giving all your Merfolk Riot earlier. I'm not sure that's the direction you really want to go, because that card explicitly wants you to play bigger creatures. So, like, if you play, like, 1 mana creature, 2 mana creature, and then the Riot enchantment, you're like, oh, well, I already played 2 creatures and, like, didn't get the Riot benefit with them. So, it's actually funny, yo, cousin. The best of 1 in Arena has a different opening hand algorithm than Paper. It's much worse. I wish they would steal Hex's opening hand algorithm. Oh, Hex's opening hand algorithm is just, like, the most elegant solution for that kind of problem. Elaborate on Hex, please. So what Hex was a game that had a resource system similar to Magic, and what they did was they took, we're gonna geek out with some math here for a minute. So they took a modified hypergeometric distribution of all the hands in your deck, and then they took the 5% most resource dense hands and 10% most resource light hands and just didn't allow you to draw them, which meant that basically you weren't encouraged to play specific land counts because every deck got 10% better on the bottom end and 5% better at the top end. That's a slime foot stowaway. All right, I think I'm gonna do this plus this other Wildgrowth Walker this turn. I think I'm gonna take Deeproot Elite. I'm gonna take the Lord. Sure, obviously nothing like that's ever gonna happen in Paper. Makasu, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. I've been playing a version of your Bant Flash list and it's fantastic. That's awesome to hear. Whenever a stop roll you control dies, this deals damage to people. Alright, so let's just get our Jadelight on, like gain infinite here in attack. Would you open to trying a persistent petitioner's deck? I never say yes or no to something I will try or won't try without seeing an exact deck list. So if you want to get my feedback on something I'd play on stream, I'd encourage you to submit the form on my website. So if I attack with both of these, they could block this with Slimefoot plus these other things, but I don't have any other Explorer creatures in my hand, so if they want to stack block this, I'm okay with it. I don't think Magic's ever going to fully explore the digital design space, but they've already shown that they want to explore other possible ideas, especially for Best of One. Like, that's a thing that they've done already. Like, obviously, things like what I just talked about would never happen in paper. But, like, at the same time, the fact that, like, we feel the need to tie everything to paper is something that should probably go away at some point. Maybe I'm supposed to play... Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to play the Mistbinder and attack with these pre-combat. Although, if I leave them back, I can Kumena with them. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and, like, do this and, like, play Mistbinder into Kumena and start drawing cards. I don't really want to play this. I'd rather just get cards drawn from this. The more turns this is in play, the more cards it draws. They're pretty dead here. Not quite sure what they're doing. They stumbled on lands. They didn't really get to get going. Zegana pre-combat game Trample. That's interesting. That's true. This card has a lot of text on it. The fact that, like, they have Trample stuck in there is something that's worth remembering. Arena has rude paper Magic for me. Arena's pretty great. I don't normally pre-release, and I'm, like, planning to play, like, 30 hours of Magic in the next 3 days. That's the plan. I played Spirit. We have not. All the decks in my stream title are decks that we still have yet to play. If they're playing a bunch of tokens, Finality's probably pretty good, right? I think I just cut these. It's just kind of filler. It's like bring in the extra walkers in the 2 of these. Seems good. And again, still kind of guessing opponent's archetype, like, isn't 100% known to us, so still trying to get a feel for what they're doing. Yeah, this hand seems great, right? To go turn 1, turn 2, or turn 1, turn 2 that way. Is the sideboard timer new? It is not. It's always been there. So, Magic Arena is beta in the fact that it's kind of feature incomplete. I wouldn't consider it a beta in terms of, like, stability and stuff like that. Like, they're calling this a beta because it lacks a lot of features that they want the finished product to have. Like, I'd imagine they want, like, a tournament client and stuff like that in the final release. No, the 5th card problem was addressed. Full Metal Adept. Yeah, beta is also a marketing term. I think it was Disguised Toast had the best way to phrase it. Basically, if a company is willing to take your money for the product they are making, it's no longer in beta. It stops being a beta when they start taking your money. How active and engaged you have to be for so many hours in a row. Does it feel like the workday goes by super fast? Yeah, definitely, Jin. Especially on good days, too. Believe it or not, the arena days tend to go by a lot faster than the Emoto days. If Gmail can do it, anybody can do it. Exactly. So while this card would be a very reasonable draw, I really want to give myself the best possible chance to hit 4 lands next turn, so I'm going to discard it. Perfect. You're not battling spreadsheets? Yep. Yep. I mean, the gameplay goes quicker too, right? Just like the turnover and the volume of games that we're able to play is much faster. Yes. Yeah, exactly. And like the beta term is like weird with card games too, because like card games are like kind of never really done, right? Like there's always another set or something like that. In the face of this 2-3, I am very sad that I discarded the Lord. This card's actually really scary. I'm not sure that we can beat this card. I guess I have copies of Find Finality in my deck. So I guess we're digging for lands and Find Finality. You don't have days off. You're always up, prepared, and ready to go. Yep. I definitely do a lot more than just turn my webcam on. Today was the least prepared I've been in a long time because I couldn't import decks and like get my deck list together ready before the stream because we were waiting for a release. Hey, Muxie the Warlock, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me employed here. I think this card's about to just bury us in the ground very quickly. Honestly, I probably should have ditched this. This probably shouldn't have been played. Taken. I just should have like dig for lands in Finality. Playing Arena in a lot of ways, Jin, reminds me of playing Hex versus playing Moto, because like this is an actual video game, like Hex was an actual video game. Yeah, I definitely think I punted this. I don't know if we would have won, even if I would have been aggressive and been to this, but I definitely didn't give myself the best possible chance to win here, and that was a mistake. Yeah, I definitely think they shouldn't have sacrificed the saplings, I agree, but it doesn't really matter, we're dead here. Do I want Cast Down to take that thing out of play? Maybe the Incubation Incongruities are worth keeping. Thanks, Andrew. Always remember, if you can't catch me live, the YouTube channel has archives of everything. Although today they're not going to be up there till the very end, so probably won't see YouTube archives till almost midnight. I think I'm planning to go for another, I don't know. If we stay at like almost 3,000 people, I'm probably going to go for another 6 or 7 hours. Huh. I'm gonna keep this. The finalities are like really good, right? Yeah, I think the finality half is just like really good in this matchup though, right? That's not what I want to do. Your work ethic and how you groom the stream is quite impressive. As someone hopes to get into an enjoyable stream together myself, watching your stream gives me solid direction. Thanks, Godlight. Tilt. Kind of feels bad to not get a trigger from this, but I think I'm supposed to do this to be resource efficient this turn. All I want for Christmas are a bunch of lands. A bunch of lands. There's always the most hype right surrounding a new Magic set. So my numbers are higher than normal today. Even this is even high for my normal arena numbers. I think with this I can get some of these Merfolk up out of Finality range. I think I'm keeping that there because it helps me dig to lands next turn. I'm gonna offer this trade. I don't think they're gonna take it. Okay. We've not played with or against any Vanifier decks yet. Alright, 2 shots at a land. Ding, ding, ding. I could find the Deeproot Elite here. Do I find Deeproot Elite? I think I do. Just like double Deeproot. Because then next turn, so one of these stays at 4-3, which lets me put 2 counters on it from the Finality and save it. And then Deeproot's gonna power up the next one pretty quickly. You know, you played Modern at PAX South this weekend? Any idea what the competition will look like? I have no idea. So I'm not playing my land yet because I could hit a shock land with this. So I want to get this to a 5. And then I'm going to start getting this one to a 5. Although I might just be popping off next turn. I want to play it first. I need 27 rare wild cards. You should buy cards from the set that has most of those cards in it. Maybe I should have split my counters up here. If I attack with this, in order to kill it, they have to block with everything, right? Or they have to block with a bunch of stuff. I think I'm okay with that. I think that they're just gonna chump this. Oh, they do have Death Touch. Yeah, that's true. That's fine. It worked out. This is a no justice stream, chat. For those of you that are new, there's never any justice here. Alright, so they're gonna shoot my Jadelight Ranger? Really? Okay, that's good for me. I think I Finality here, right? If I Finality, this gets +2, -4, so it ends up at 3, 4, 5. I put this to 1. I'm going to take a lot of poison tip triggers here. Bonus deck seems really sweet. If they hadn't had all tapped lands this game, we'd probably be in a worse spot. God, Golgari Raiders would be real bad for us.
Its pain is our gain.
So, if I do this, then I can do this, reveal this. Hey, Brox B, thank you very much for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. This isn't quite lethal, right? What are the odds I get Kaya's Wrath the next turn? Non-zero? Non-zero chance I get Kaya's Wrath next turn? Because their deck, like, does sacrifice a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna hold this land in my hand, because if I hit a Biomancer, I could loot it away. I think I just want to hit this. Because otherwise they get to kill one of my Jadelights. I don't know if that attack is right. Yeah, they might have built their deck to just, like, make tokens and then cast Kaya's Wrath. I'm going to concede to a Wrath here if it happens. Yep. Ritual of Soot. Okay. Yeah, sure. Woof. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we keep coming up a little bit short with what's going on here. And, like, part of the reason why we were playing Sultai Merfolk previously was because we didn't have Breeding Pool and the Black Splash was, like, free-ish instead of playing a lot of basic. So I feel like if I wanted to play more Merfolk, I would want to focus on going lower to the ground and maybe trying Hada's Climb and abusing, like, having a stronger, more aggressive curve with, like, a little bit of counter magic mixed in, as opposed to splashing this other color now that I have access to Breeding Pool and better mana overall.